Now at 10, the community of Independence, Kansas hosts the Veterans Day Parade and Memorial Presentation. Plus, we'll take a visit to Webb City's Sacred Heart Church for their 73rd annual Turkey Dinner and Silent Auction. And Curious Minds Discovery Zone holds their 3rd annual Touch a Truck event.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, thank you for joining us. This is your KOAM News at 10. I'm Jalen Banks. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol says one 6-year-old is dead after the vehicle was swept into floodwater Friday night in Adair County, Oklahoma. According to the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, the incident occurred around 9 p.m. on County Road 4643 near Stillwell, Oklahoma. The patrol says the driver of the vehicle, who was from Jay, Oklahoma, attempted to cross a flooded bridge when it was swept into the water. According to deputies, the 6-year-old victim was pronounced dead at the scene. As Veterans Day is around the corner, Independence, Kansas honored veterans with speeches, remembrance, and more. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has that story.
The Veterans Freedom Square Committee of Independence, Kansas honored local veterans by reading the names of all 800 pavers dedicated to the servicemen and women from Independence.
Several local veterans, and there's veterans that maybe were born here, moved away, but they've got pavers. So we put the pavers in place. They've got their names, usually their branch of service. So reading their names, I think, draws a crowd here. It's just a way to respect their service.
The committee maintains and hosts fundraisers for the Veterans Freedom Square located in Riverside Park and Ralph Mitchell Zoo.
We don't want to forget our veterans. We don't want to forget the sacrifice their families made.
Veterans were proud to see the local youth dedicate speeches to show their gratitude for their service.
My essay, I generally just wrote about the 3 main aspects that I think a veteran does. They provide, preside, and protect our country and our people, and that's why I wrote about them being important.
Abby's speech was inspired by her father's journey.
And working with it, I was able to just kind of come up with a bunch of different ideas, and I thought of my father, who used to be in the military, and I wanted to write about him a little bit and decided to just come up with an analogy to connect the 2 things.
I was very impressed with what the children come up with. It was a good way to honor our veterans.
Reporting in Independence, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Throughout the day, there were plenty of activities for Independence's Veterans Day of Honor, including the Veterans Parade, a military exhibit, and more. Sacred Heart Catholic Church in Webb City hosted their 73rd annual Turkey Dinner and Silent Auction. The silent auction was to raise money for the church and to bring the congregation together for fellowship.
We've been doing it 73 years, and the energy of the youth coming up and the passing of the torch from the folks that have done it for several years to a new group of parishioners, it kind of keeps excitement going for everybody in our church. And again, it's just so we can promote what we're doing here throughout the whole community.
For more celebratory fall events such as this one, you can find them on our website on KOAMnewsnow.com. A man in Tulsa is behind bars for allegedly selling fake Pokemon cards on Craigslist to people all across the country. Tulsa police say Michael McCoy was arrested after a tip came from a victim in Hawaii who had paid $3,000 for what he thought was a real deal. Police had already been looking into this case for months when they got a call from that victim in Hawaii. That person agreed to work with investigators, and they set up a fake number to trick McCoy into selling him cards again. Police were then able to arrest McCoy when he went to the post office to mail the cards out.
It really became something bigger than I had any clue about, and it was like instant that I knew. I was like, these are terrible quality. These are totally fraudulent.
Officials say in all, McCoy was able to scam people out of $12,000 in states like Arizona, Colorado, Ohio, Texas, and more. And he faces now 4 counts of false pretense under $1,000 or con game. The Making Memories Tour is having their annual travel expo. They have multiple stagecoach tours and trolleys. It gives repeat customers an opportunity to come back together and tour.
One of the things that draws the crowd is not just our tours, but it's hanging out with people that they've traveled with in the past. A lot of these folks have been together on multiple trips, made memories all over the world, literally. So it's kind of a mini family reunion, so to speak, for a lot of our, we have a lot of repeat customers. So it's kind of dual purpose. They like to know where we're going and hear the details about the tour, but it's also hanging out and getting reconnected with the people they've already traveled with.
Once again, the event is described as a family reunion. The Children's Museum is putting on the 3rd annual Touch a Truck event at Parsons Marvel Park. The event gives parents and children in the community an opportunity to meet first responders in the area, while also allowing kids to go out and touch the first responders' trucks.
So as a children's museum, we are all about family fun and educational hands-on experiences. So this event itself just allows the families to get together outdoors and have a very unique experience, something that they don't get to experience really anywhere else. Kids get to see these vehicles on the road, but not necessarily up close and personal. So this just gives them that experience that hopefully they'll never forget.
Marvel Park is located at 800 Main Street in Parsons. We now take this time to honor tonight's four-state hero. Lloyd Beatty, a Pittsburgh, Kansas native, served in the Army. He served in both France and Germany during World War II. To First Lieutenant Lloyd Beatty, we thank you, our four-state hero. Coming up, a look at midterms.
We are now 3 days away from Election Day. I'm Cristian Benavides with the races to watch and the issues that matter to voters.
A new survey indicates Americans are carrying a debt load. A poll commissioned by New York Sports Day says more than half of Americans are still struggling in the post-pandemic era, with more than half saying they're still living paycheck to paycheck. The survey says the average American has more than $25,000 in debt. And what's worse is if an emergency came up, would not be able to pay an unexpected $1,000 of expenses. 27% don't budget at all, with Generation Z having the most struggles, but followed close by Gen Xers, baby boomers, and millennials. Taking a long trip in an electric vehicle? It may take a lot out of you in the end. Many electric vehicle drivers are saying it takes them longer than expected to take trips. One Colorado driver reports taking 15 hours to complete a 178-mile trip. Another driver with a 310-mile battery range on a 4-day excursion says she spent more time charging the vehicle than she did sleeping. Inadequate infrastructure and charging is being blamed for the travel troubles. A Wall Street Journal reporter on one long trip says fast chargers have to crank 24 kilowatts and the fastest are 350 kilowatts, but some may output only 20 kilowatts. With the balance of power up for grabs in Congress in Tuesday's midterm elections, candidates and former presidents are making final appeals to voters this weekend. CBS's correspondent Christian Benavides reports from Miami.
It's good to be back in Pennsylvania.
Former President Barack Obama slammed Republican Senate nominee Dr. Mehmet Oz in the battleground state of Pennsylvania.
If somebody's willing to peddle snake oil to make a buck, then he's probably willing to sell snake oil to get elected.
Campaigning in Pittsburgh with Democratic candidate John Fetterman, Mr. Obama warned about the future of abortion rights, Social Security, and democracy. Later, they appeared in Philadelphia with President Biden and Josh Shapiro, the nominee for governor.
One of the most important elections in our lifetime. It's going to shape, the outcome's going to shape our country for decades to come.
And tonight, Dr. Oz is set to rally in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, with former President Donald Trump, who has signaled he's strongly considering a 2024 White House run. Democrats hold a narrow majority in the House and the Senate, but they're worried pressing issues like high inflation and concerns about crime could hurt their chances on Tuesday.
What they're doing to this country right now is a shame, and they won't admit it. They want to call all police officers thugs and bullies.
Georgia Republican Senate hopeful Herschel Walker is locked in a heated battle with incumbent Democrat Raphael Warnock.
Someone lowered the ladder just low enough for me to reach up and grab the ladder and pull myself up.
Nationwide, close to 40 million Americans have already cast their ballots in early voting, both by mail and in person. Christian Benavides, CBS News. Georgia election officials say as of Saturday morning, the state's record-breaking
early turnout has been 2.3 million voters casting their ballot during early voting, with over 200,000 showing up on Friday. And we'll be back with more after the break.
We had some much needed rain come through the 4 states yesterday, and while we did see some strong to low grade severe storms, the good news is we didn't see widespread severe weather, but we did get a fair amount of rain. So on the average, we got about 0.8 of an inch of rain across the region, but as you see down to the southeast around Monette, Cassville, we're talking upwards of 3.5 inches, and around 2.5 inches for some of us in southeast Kansas, with a little bit of a drier area here where we still got rain, just not as much as some of the other areas here in the 4 states. It was rain we absolutely needed. As you know, the rain we got about 3 weeks ago did make a small dent on the drought tracker, so we'll keep an eye on the drought tracker and see if the rain we just got helps out. And if it doesn't help a lot, I have good news for some. We have more rain chances on the way. We also have some warmer weather on the way. So as we go through the rest of tonight, I'm not being lazy. I know this sounds crazy, but 47. We're going to start to even out, and the reason for that is we're starting to see the return on the southerly winds on the backside of this system, giving us some warmer weather. So we're going to hit a low of 47 pretty early, and we're just going to kind of even out for temperatures under mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. And as we head into tomorrow, and this proves I'm not just being crazy here, we will start to warm up. 66 for an afternoon high under partly cloudy skies, 60 by noon, 65 at 5, and 56 by 8. And again, we'll spend most of the day partly cloudy. Now, I did mention 2 things. 1, we have a warm-up coming. 2, we have additional shower and thunderstorm chances in our forecast. So this is Monday about 9:30 in the morning. You can see a few scattered showers, possibly some rumbles of thunder, but you can also see at 9 a.m. in Joplin, we're already at 57 degrees. We go through the rest of the day on Monday and a few more scattered showers and thunderstorms across the region. We're not talking widespread rainfall, but we're talking some showers and storms. We get a little bit of a break, and then we head into early on Tuesday morning. And you can see this is 3:30 in the morning Tuesday, and look at Chanute, for example, right around 61 degrees, Joplin at 57. This is the warm-up I'm talking about, and we start to see a few more scattered showers and thunderstorms. Now by Tuesday, 7 a.m., we have a good chance of seeing additional shower and thunderstorm chances. We're not looking at any severe weather with any of this, but we are looking at thunderstorm chances and a fair amount of rain, and then that will start to clear out by late Tuesday and give us some different skies, and then we've got a bigger change coming up down the road. To keep up on all the latest weather, make sure you scan that QR code or go to your favorite app store and search for KOAM Skywatch Weather. That way you have the KOAM Skywatch Weather app. It's like having the entire weather team wherever you go when you're not near your television. Don't forget, when the clocks hit 2 a.m., we need to set them back 1 hour to 1 a.m. because we're falling back tonight. It's the end of daylight savings time, and make sure you also check the batteries in your smoke detectors. So, here we go. We got 64 Monday. Rain and thunderstorms. Maybe some showers Wednesday, 75. Bigger system coming in Thursday, 70 degrees for the high with some thunderstorm chances. And then look what it does for temperatures. We are 46 on Friday with a low of 24. And then we are 40 degrees on Saturday, but at least we're mostly clear. But once we get through this nice mild start to the week, by the time we head into this upcoming weekend, it starts to feel a lot like fall, maybe even a little bit like winter out there. Jalen?
The Pittsburgh State Gorillas have a chance to claim the outright MIAA championship this afternoon against Washburn. The Gorillas face the Ichabods today in their final road game of the regular season. Pitt State is 9-0 coming into the day. They're trying to beat Washburn for the first time since 2016. First quarter, Caleb Lewis takes the handoff, lowers the shoulder, and fights through for the 8-yard touchdown. Gorillas take a 7-6 lead. Washburn backed up inside their own 5 here. Dubem Okonkwo flies in and blows it up for the safety. Gorillas make it 9-6 and they get the ball back. On that next drive, Chad Dodson Jr. finds Devin Garrison. Garrison scores 2 touchdowns on the afternoon to go along with 61 yards. The defense was huge in the first half. Brandon Malikas jumps on the loose ball. He had 2 fumble recoveries today. Pitt State up 30-13 at half. Washburn made it a 1-score game in the third, But in the fourth, Dodson Jr. hits Mark Wheeland on the slant. It's his first touchdown of the season, and that puts the Gorillas back up double digits. Then the defense closes it out. Alex Gaskill interception seals it, and that's the ball game. Pitt State wins 37-23. The Gorillas are outright MIAA conference champions.
Feels great, but we got a long way to go yet. I feel like a lot of us are aiming a little bit higher than that, but it feels great. I mean, we'll just keep stacking up wins and seeing where this thing can go.
Man, it's an unbelievable feeling, but we're not done yet. Like I'm sure you've heard constantly, we're 1-0, and that's what we strive to be every week.
The Missouri Southern Lions also on the road this afternoon. They have a tough one, trying to hand Northwest its first home loss since 2018. The Bearcats win this one 27-5. Jamie Tago records 2 tackles for loss, including a safety. The Lions return home next week to wrap up the season against Washburn. At the high school level, we have a few district semifinal games today in Southwest Missouri. First up, the Webb City Cardinals host Republic, aiming to move on to the district championship. The Cardinals went 6-3 in the regular season. Republic enters this one on a 4-game winning streak. Webb City trails by 1 here in the second. Amari Jackson breaks free. He's all alone, 39-yard touchdown. They're going for 2. Cole Cavett takes it to the near side and in. Cardinals up by 7. First drive of the second half here. Brecken Gallardo battles his way in for 6. 21-7 Webb City, but then things start to fall apart. Republic onside kicks it and recovers. Then Wyatt Woods finds a wide open Gunnar Ellison in the end zone. That ties it at 21. Later in the fourth, Cards pin deep in their own territory. Kendall Curbo flies in. It's a safety for the Tigers' lead. Republic scores 23 unanswered to take down Webb City 30-21.
We really didn't probably play as well as we could have or as well as we're capable of, but you got to be able to overcome things, and that's kind of what we talked about, and we all feel bad. I mean, if it didn't hurt when you lose, it dang sure wouldn't feel great when you win. So, that's part of it. But just didn't have today. Hats off to Republic. You got a good football team.
On the other side of the Class 5 District 6 bracket, Carthage hosts COC rival Willard. Carthage down 7 in the first. Clay Kinder punches it in to tie the game, but Willard sticks with them. Russell Roughton drops back, throws to Timmy Rubble for the touchdown. Willard back on top. To the second now, Cooper Jadwin throws it deep. Hudson Moore makes a great play to keep the drive alive. That leads to this. Clay Kinder back in for the 1-yard score. It's 14-14. Carthage leads coming out of the break. Mason Frissinger down the sideline. He gets in for the touchdown, extends the lead, and Carthage rolls to the district championship, beating Willard 41-21. The Lamar Tigers finished the regular season with an 8-1 overall record. That record was good enough for the Tigers to earn a first-round bye in the Class 2 District 5 bracket. Lamar is back in action this week facing Stockton. The winner advances to next week's district championship. Opening kick, Cooper Hahn on the return. Stockton strips it. They recover deep in Tiger territory. Then Stockton calls for an offsides. So a few plays later, they go for the 35-yard field goal. The kick here is good, so Stockton leads 3-0. Other way now, Joel Beshore gives to Terrell Davis. Nice 18-yard gain here. Then Beshore takes it himself. He's headed toward the far sideline. Goes out at the Stockton 40. A few plays later, Beshore airs it out, finds Austin Wilkerson. He beats a few defenders, gets in for the score, 7-3 home team. Later, Beshore keeps again, easy run into the end zone. Lamar running away with it now, it's 20-3. Just before the half, Tigers hungry for more. Beshore finds Ian Googie, he's in for 6. Lamar handles Stockton today, 56-10. Class 2 District 4 bracket here. The top-seeded Seneca Indians, coming off a first-round bye, host Hollister in the district semifinals. Seneca gets it done today, shutting out Hollister 42-0. The Indians will face Mount Vernon for the district title next week. The Missouri Southern women's basketball team opens up the regular season this afternoon in Kansas City. The Lions face Lubbock Christian in a top 25 battle. Southern is ranked 19th in the country to start the year. Lubbock Christian is number 23. Today, the Lions pull off the big win 65-64. Lacey Stokes has a team-high 19 points and 6 assists. Maddie Stokes adds a double-double. Missouri Southern will be right back on the floor in Kansas City tomorrow against Minnesota Duluth. That's it for sports. We're back after this.
Well, Dan, we've got some favorable temps coming up this week, and I know you guys are continuing to be outside for football and with the season wrapping up. What do you guys have coming up?
Yeah, lots of stuff coming up. A few of our teams moved on. Carthage moved on today, Lamar moved on today, and Pitt State and Missouri Southern will wrap up the regular season next Saturday. So no rain in the forecast will be a good thing on the sports end of things.
I was at that Carthage District Championship game last year, so I know that they're going to be looking for revenge.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's our time for now. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.